Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Hello.
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 You sound like that every time we start.
I know.
Hello. It sounds like broken record every time we start a podcast.
Hello. Like literally every time.
Every time.
Welcome back to the Truth in Her podcast.
And this is episode number 18.
How to be vulnerable.
Woo, woo, woo. Fun stuff, you guys.
Yeah. But first we're going to start off with like some life updates.
Yeah. So we just filmed the semester one.
Yeah, that was like a week ago.
Yeah.
Commercial came out today.
Yes. And we basically just talked about like what's going on in our semester, like what we've been doing to kind of navigate it.
Because it's freaking hard.
Yeah, it's so hard right now.
We're like surviving.
We're surviving, and like we have the podcast on top of it, so it's kind of a lot sometimes, but
yeah,
you guys get it for sure.
And work and family. And yeah, you guys get it, you know.
Yeah, it's been a super tough weekend for me. I think that I've had so much work to do.
Yeah.
But we're getting through it.
It's been tough. Yeah, I have 2 exams on Wednesday.
But spring break is coming up, so
phew.
Thankfully.
Yeah, just gotta push through. Oh, did you see that little burst of light that we just got?
Yeah, that was really good. Good lighting today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of wind. We were just talking about the wind.
My God.
It's so windy.
It's been so windy. I don't think I've ever seen this kind of wind in my life.
No, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, the wind.
My car was like...
Yeah. Like all week.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
There was like this one day that was really bad. Like a couple weeks ago, me and Maddie were trying to film like some reels and stuff outside. And like, I don't know why we like kept going because
we didn't even like watch the videos back.
No, we didn't. We were just like out there filming like regular reels, and then
there's a fruit fly.
Yeah, I can see him. He was like hovering over you.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew.
But we were filming reels, and there's just like a giant storm in the background, like dark clouds,
and her hair's like this.
Yeah, the rain's going. It's so loud in the back, like it starts raining, and like I don't even know why we didn't stop to be like, okay, like let's save this idea for another day.
I think we thought it was funny.
Yeah,
you know,
we kind of went along with it. But then the wind started getting so bad.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. We were filming. You couldn't even hear our voices.
No. It was so bad. Wow. It's really raining cats and dogs, huh?
Sometimes I like the wind.
Like, I thought a tree was gonna fall on my head. Like, the trees were, like, swaying. Like, you've never
so
seen.
Scared
like,
to
a
drive.
Freaking tornado. Yeah, I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
But when I was driving home that day, there was a really cool sunset. Did you see that when you were driving home?
Yup. Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous.
Whoa. I was like out in my car.
It was like
filming out
godly.
The window while I'm driving like this.
Yeah. I pulled over into a parking lot to take pictures.
I was just driving like this. On my phone, like taking pictures like this. So unsafe.
Hey, we've all done it. We have to admit it.
It was so pretty. I probably should have pulled over.
I pulled over into a Foreman Mills parking
lot. A what Mills?
Foreman Mills.
What's that?
It's like I think it's a thrift store. I've never been inside.
Oh.
But it's like really cheap clothes. Like,
we should go there.
Super like wholesale. I wonder if they have furniture. We're in the market for new chairs.
Mm-hmm. If you guys have some matching cool chairs.
Yeah, white preferably.
Yeah.
Or like a love seat.
Like a nude color maybe, or gray.
What would you rather have, like a love seat or 2 chairs?
That's a good question. I think 2 chairs would be more versatile if we ever wanted to switch up the area.
Yeah, that's true.
But I wouldn't mind a love seat either.
I wouldn't mind it either. It's a little bit more cozy.
Yeah.
I don't mind either.
I really don't care either.
Yeah, we're gonna go later today, I think, to the furniture store.
We'll go look around for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Anywho.
We're talking about vulnerability today.
Exactly.
This is like one of my favorite topics, I think. Mm-hmm. I think that it's kind of the root of what we really believe in, and that's just to just be so true and full with your heart, with love and honesty.
Yeah.
And that's really the root of you know, how to be a good human and how to navigate life, like, without being so pulled down by stress and shame and guilt.
Yep,
and
exactly.
all that. So
I think we, our relationship too is like, that's been a root of our relationship and how we've grown together. I've learned so much from you about this topic.
Really?
100%. And even being in like a field where you have to come from a place of so much unknowing. Like in science, you have to understand what you don't know yet. So you can get to what you do know.
Yeah,
so
you can
figure
vulnerable.
things out. Yeah, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to ask those questions about what you know and what you don't know yet, and that takes courage sometimes.
I think the best way to think about what vulnerability is to think like of nakedness.
Yeah,
like you're naked in
like
a room,
raw.
and you're just like, this is who I am, and I don't know.
Right. One of my favorite things is like the pictures of Jesus that has just like his open human heart in his chest that's just like glowing and like
He's just so there.
There's a reason why it's not just like a cartoon heart. Like there's a reason why it's this like human flesh heart because it's so vulnerable. Anyone could just go up and like pierce it. You know what I mean? Anyone could just be, when you show your wrists, you're putting yourself in a position of like trusting the other person.
Yep.
And it's just that vulnerability of being hello, like, here's something I hold so precious and I trust you to do whatever you want with it because I love you that much.
Here's my trust and my love and my heart and all my secrets and everything that I hold dear to my life.
Yeah.
And, are you going to hold it with tenderness? Are you going to take care of that? Are you going to respect it and honor it?
Right.
Or are you going to take advantage of it? And we always play a risk with every single relationship we have. Like, how do I know that somebody isn't going to totally crush my heart?
Right.
Or hurt me or make me, feel things that I don't want to feel. You never know that, but it's the trust and the vulnerability that allows you to go into those spaces and say, I might be hurt in this scenario, but I'm choosing to be vulnerable with you because that's where real love and connection fosters.
100%. 100%. And I think it's weird too because like sometimes we think of the nakedness as weakness.
Yeah.
We think of it to be
it's
like
so mistaken to be weakness.
Yeah, we think, it's natural to put up walls in the world. It's natural to become armored, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And
it's looked at as weak because like people see it as like, oh, you don't know something, then you're weak.
Right.
Or you don't know how to do something, you're weak. Like,
yeah.
Or you're feeling that, like, oh, why would you be feeling that? You're weak.
Right.
Like,
it's even weird to think about how people like think trusting others to a certain degree makes you weak.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, why would you give them so much freedom to do something?
Yeah.
Why would you trust them with that? But is it you that's weak, or is it the person that responds in such a way that's weak?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird how we think about it in that way.
Yeah.
We get very something I wrote down was like black and white thinking, and we get like, even if it's just saying, oh, I don't know this just yet. We tend to think like, oh, then I don't know anything.
Yeah.
You get very like extreme.
Yes.
And it's scary to show your heart and show your wrists to somebody and entrust them to
hold that with like
and say, oh, if
you.
you're not strong in this area, then you're also not strong in all the other areas.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Like you trust them to not say that?
Like if I trust you with my heart and I show you how my heart isn't beating correctly, can I trust you that you're gonna think that my wrists are beating correctly, if that makes sense?
Yeah. That was such a parable. My wrists aren't beating correctly. No, I understand.
Like sometimes it's hard to, I've felt tension to go up and ask a question because it means, oh, I don't know all this just yet.
Yeah.
Like if I ask a question about 3 units ago in math class.
Yeah, they're going to hold that against you,
Is my teacher going to think I don't know the unit we're talking about right now, too?
Yeah.
Like
you think they're going to hold that
behind?
Against you and your trust is going to be broken.
I think that's what we tend to think.
That's what we tend to think,
Yeah,
yes.
we tend to think like black and white thinking.
Yeah.
You know, oh no, like I can't ask them that question because they're going to think
it's a part of my identity
nothing.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
That I don't know. You're just so scared about what people are going to think. And like you're kind of basing your identity off of that in a way.
Right. That's what happens.
Yep.
That's what happens.
I agree.
But it's,
we're scared to be weak.
Yeah, we are.
And I think that's like a big thing that people put on us nowadays. Like everyone's just trying to sort of blend in a way, and it's just like, oh, don't show too much.
Right.
Because that's not cool.
Right.
You know?
100%. 100%.
So like if you do show too much, it's like, why are you trying too hard?
Yeah.
Why are you you know, showing too much? Why are you so emotional? Why are you this?
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Like, why would you ask those questions? Like, that's not something people normally ask.
Yeah, that you're so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so deep, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's deep, bro. Yeah, of course it's deep.
Yeah.
I know you're feeling deep, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's go there. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to go there with somebody. And that's another big piece of this is, like, vulnerability is held between two people.
Yeah.
You know, you can be vulnerable with yourself. But it's when we share those connections that it's truly
it's what makes a true connection.
Yeah, it really does. You know, and it's like I can be honest with myself. You know, we all are honest with ourselves, at least
unless you're delusional.
And try to be.
And you like push stuff away deep down inside.
Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. But
absolutely.
Like thinking in an ideal sense, we're honest with ourselves. We know, you know, what we can and can't do.
It's a little safer for some people.
But vulnerability isn't tested until we have it with somebody else. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like, how do I know that you're a good friend for me?
Right. It's like that,
we have to be able to go into deep places with each other. Like, I can't have a relationship with somebody if we're just going to stay in one level the whole way. Right. You know, like, I have to be able to...
A connection's
say,
not even made
what do you think about this? And it's just, like, some crazy deep thing. Like, what do you think about God? What do you think about, you know, this? Or like, hey, I need to tell you something about myself that, you know, is really sacred to me. And, you know, you got to be willing to go into these really personal conversations, these really deep places with people, because it's like, how else are you going to get to know somebody on a deeper level? How are you, like, if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, basically what I'm trying to say is you got to be able to show your whole self. Yeah,
100%. 100%. You have to be willing to, you know, there's a cage that we surround ourselves with, even if we are vulnerable with ourselves. Yeah. If we're not sharing that or opening the cage with each other, it's like we still understand that it's guarded, you know? Yeah. You know, so when we go and we give someone the key, that's when there's been so many times where I've come to my loved ones and been like, oh my gosh, I really need help on something. Yeah. Or like had that vulnerable moment, shared the sacred, tough time. And then I walk away from that place and it's like, I feel so much better, you know, with just getting it off my chest.
And it deepens your connections too.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You know? Yeah. And you're able to go into those places.
Mm-hmm. It's totally like, that's what makes vulnerability. It's the human connection. Yeah. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
And I like how you mentioned like the vulnerability with yourself too, because like as easy it might seem on the surface, it's actually really hard sometimes because you know, that's where like we put up our own personal walls. That's why you see people that are dealing with perfectionism or anger issues or like deep-rooted shame and guilt, because it's hard to feel your own feelings and you're totally in control of whether you're going to push it down or feel it.
Right.
And you're totally in control of, am I going to react in a way that's going to hide this feeling, or am I going to react in a way that's going to show this feeling? And so there are some people out there that have dealt with like really bad trauma and stuff, and you know, they don't want to feel those feelings come up again. So in certain situations when those feelings are triggered, instead of like letting it show and letting it come out, you know, they're going to react with anger. Yeah. They're going to walk away. Really they're going to hide in a corner.
I know I've done that before too.
Yeah. They're going to ruin their relationships with people over it.
Right.
And that's why it's so important to deepen your connections vulnerably with other people, because there's going to be a time where you guys are in a difficult situation and they bring something up to you and it's triggering that one piece of your heart that's like, whoa, I pushed that down a long time ago and I don't want it to come out again.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now that you're triggering it, I'm going to totally take it out on you when it's even not even about the person in the first place.
Right. It's a very
it's going to ruin that
system.
connection.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's all coming from yourself.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's like, it takes a realized mind and a realized heart.
Yeah.
And a lot of reflection time on your own.
Absolutely.
You know, like, you do have to kind of have that vulnerability with yourself to then be able to have the vulnerability with others.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you have to understand who you are. You have to understand, like, you have to go through all the inner workings of your mind and your brain, or your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, at least for me, I know I don't want to be reacting in that way.
No,
you know,
yeah,
I don't want to
neither.
be, I never want to be caught off guard, if that makes sense. I don't want to be like, you know, and I also want to treat others.
We will.
Yeah.
And that's why we gotta be like ready to be vulnerable.
Exactly. So we have to be vulnerable and authentic with ourselves.
We're going to get angry. We're going to feel those feelings. We're going to get in fights. Like, we're all humans and we're never going to be perfect.
Right.
But it's when we realize, oh, this is a vulnerable moment. Uh-huh. And it feels so scary to stand here naked right now.
Right. But embracing the tenderness and the nakedness.
I'm not going to run away. Because this is going to help me get these feelings out. This is going to help me deepen my connection with this person.
Right.
And also make me a stronger person.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. And then you can see the pathway out. You can see, you know, you come from it and you realize, oh wow, that actually made me feel so much realized as a human.
Yeah.
That gave me so much strength, and I understand where I can go now, and you know what the next steps are for myself.
Yeah.
And you become you know yourself better.
Yeah.
You know yourself better. You know the connection better.
Yep. It's more transparent.
It's and like the path in front of you is clear.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the the Disney short film Fantasia?
No.
It's about Mickey Mouse, and it's like Walt Disney is Mickey Mouse essentially, and Mickey Mouse is like a wizard, and he's conducting all these crazy things, these beautiful scenes, and like, you know, creating all these great movies essentially. And then, you know, part of being creative is going really deep into your own heart and your mind to dish out or to create like something tender, something vulnerable, something, you know, personable. Yeah, very like shared as a human. It's so human.
It's vulnerable.
And then, you know, Mickey Mouse starts to go into, he's creating all these great things, these beautiful great things, and then gets sucked into this whirlpool and like flushed down in a way, and he goes into a very deep, dark place. And it's scary, you know, it's very like abstract and dark, and you know, that's part of being vulnerable. It's like you're going down into the deepest parts of yourself.
Yeah.
And then
it can get scary.
The path to coming out again is when we, you know, that's the vulnerability part, you know, like recognizing I'm not feeling the best and I'm really deep down inside of myself. I'm really feeling deep, and it can be hard to pull yourself back up again.
Yeah.
So Mickey Mouse
like
does
a dark
eventually
night of the soul.
Yeah.
You know,
and he's like creating all the villains in the world, and then he eventually does come back up, and he realizes like, oh my goodness, like I've conquered evil. This is amazing. And that part of him that went deep down and that was like so scared is still a part of him.
Yeah.
And then like they co-create in a way.
Yeah.
The deep, sad parts.
He's willing to accept it and see it. It's almost like those are like thorns that pop up inside of you.
Yeah, 100%.
And so when you feel a thorn pricking at you, instead
you don't turn your cheek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to look at it and say, okay.
You want to get rid of the thorn.
Yeah.
So you're going to look at it and you're going to say, I'm going to pluck this out.
Right.
I'm going to stop letting it prick me. You know what I mean?
And it's weird because when you go to touch it, it hurts more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does.
When you go to touch it and you have to dig for it. It hurts.
It does.
It hurts. But
you'll get it out if you feel it. It's almost like I've even practiced this, like if I'm in like alone or something, and like I'll think about something that happened in my past, and I'll think about it and I'll be like, wow, that really like hurt, and it still kind of hurts me, but I'm just going to feel it and see the reality of it right now, and I'm just going to sit in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to think about it and be like, wow, you know, I've come so far, and, you know, that made me who I was, and that was really hard, but I'm willing to look at it and see that, you know, I'm a human and I've been through human experiences, and that those things made me who I am, and it's okay to grow from that, and it's okay to look at it and say, that was a part of my life.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it made you who you are today.
Instead of being like,
you know?
oh, I really don't want to think about this.
Yeah, push it away. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. You know, yeah.
I think about that a lot. Like, I moved here when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll think about it and, like, my old friends that I had and just, like, the sorrow I felt from leaving my home and my friends and, like, a place I loved. And I'll think about the things I used to do and all that, and just feel the sorrow of it.
Yeah.
And I just like to sit in those moments, because feeling that and recognizing it and just looking at it just helps so much, because I don't want to look back at it and just feel that aching anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
I just want to look at it as a real human experience and be like, it's okay to feel those things.
Yeah, there is such a thing as healthy anger and healthy sadness.
Yeah.
You know, there's...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I had the same experience when I moved out of my childhood home.
Yeah.
I couldn't go down that street. You know, I hated going down that street.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I realized the reason why I'm feeling all this sadness is because it was so good. You know, I miss being there. And, you know, it was a great time. Mm-hmm. And,
yeah, that is really hard.
Yeah. Right.
Like, for a long time, I didn't go back to my old house because it was just so traumatizing to me.
I remember you had a lot of
sad
feelings going back.
Anxiety, like so much anxiety and panic over it.
Right. But it's crazy because, like, there's some situations that we just can't change. Yeah. Especially the past. And
it hurts.
It hurts so bad, but when we realize, like, okay, I can't change the emotion that I'm feeling, and I can't change the past, I can't change the situation. How do I allow myself to feel it in a safe way? Mm-hmm. You know, we can't change our emotions. Mm-hmm. We have to feel them. And looking at it from, like, oh no, I know I have to do the work. I know I have to feel that emotion. It can be terrifying. Yeah. It can be so
you
scary.
can take all the time you want to. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's too much grief, like, I'm not going to tell you, you know, feel that right now.
Right.
Like,
right.
Recognize it. And, like, little by little, just when those thorns pop up, just breathe.
Right. Breathe.
Because
take the time.
It took me years.
Right.
And even to this day, I still think about it. I'm like, oh, wow, you know, that hurt.
Right, right.
And it's always going to hurt. Yeah. But I recognize it, and I'm okay with it because I've accepted it.
Exactly.
I've accepted the sorrow in it, and I'm willing to move on.
You've also made the space for yourself to say, I'm okay in my sadness. Yeah. I'm safe in my sadness. Yeah. You know, it's okay to feel those feelings, you know.
Yeah, I'm safe, and I'm safe right now, and I moved on.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay to go down into your shadow, you know, because that's who we are, you know. That makes us who we are, and it bringing us back up, and, like, wearing the struggles and wearing the hurt on our sleeve is, you know, it's not weak. It's not weak. It's gorgeous.
It's gonna make you stronger.
It makes you stronger
because the weakest people are the ones that put up the walls,
right? And say, I never get sad. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the weakest people because they're not willing to feel the deepest hurt you could ever feel. Right. They're scared of it. They're scared and they put up the walls. And, you know, I'm not blaming anybody because I know that's really hard and I feel sorrow for those people that are struggling and they don't understand that just needs to come out.
Yeah. I feel sorrow for them too because we're all sad. Like, honestly, we're all sad. We all have these bad emotions. There's no way to go throughout life without, you know, feeling deep or feeling...
But the best way is to be vulnerable about it.
Yeah. To feel the sadness and tell yourself, I'm okay here. Yeah. I can feel this and you know...
Because if it doesn't come out the way it is... If it doesn't come out the way it is, it's going to come out a different way. So it's going to look like anger.
Right. You got to do the work. You got to do the work.
Absolutely. That's why you see a lot of people that are angry.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where it comes from.
That's true. It's
because
just like
they don't have the capacity to explain or to get out what they're really feeling on the inside. Mm-hmm. So it comes out very aggressive. Right. And it comes out very passive. Mm-hmm. And it comes out all at once. Yep. So... You know, you don't want that to happen.
Very messy.
Very messy.
Yeah.
And that's where you get like explosive people, because they just hide so much, so that when minor things happen, they just explode. And you don't like to be around those people.
They don't want to look at it. They don't want to look at it. So then it just comes up in different ways.
And people that protect themselves from deep feelings and they hold back things and they're putting up their armor.
Yeah.
A lot of that can look like perfectionism in a way.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to be perfect all the time because you're so scared that maybe other people are going to see it too. So, you know, you're putting up all that perfectionism in those walls. You're just a ticking time bomb.
It really
waiting
is.
for somebody to trigger something.
Yep.
You're constantly waiting.
Yep.
And constantly just feeling that trigger.
On edge. It's like, it's like, you know,
trying to hide something.
You have the emotion back in your head.
Yeah.
But you're like, that's not true.
It's like the feeling as if you like stole something delusion. And you held it behind your back. You're just like waiting for somebody to find out you stole something. Like you're just a ticking time bomb.
Right.
With those walls.
It feels so much better to show up authentically and be like,
and it's like, dude, just relax.
Right.
Let people just see you. Let people just see you.
Right.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. And just because you have this bad experience in the past doesn't mean that your entire...
doesn't define you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be willing to just be seen.
Right.
And like, that's terrifying when you first do it.
Right.
Just be like, all right, you know what? I'm done with this. Here I am. And
to take
that's
that
so
leap.
scary.
It takes so much courage.
So freeing.
It's so freeing. And then you
realize no one actually cares.
You realize no one actually cares, and actually everyone else feels the same exact way as you. And you can have deep, profound relationships with people. Yeah.
And then like if somebody doesn't understand that,
right,
and you know, they hurt you back, you could just be like, then you look at them with the same heart. You're like, I understand what you feel. I understand those walls.
Exactly.
But this is what I'm choosing to do, and you know, I'm here for you if you
have
need
sympathy
help.
For them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel sympathy for those people for sure.
Right. If anyone
they're hard
needs
to be
help,
around though.
It is hard. It is hard because then, you know, that bridge doesn't get created between the other person.
Yeah.
You know, like the vulnerability can't be felt between the two of you.
Absolutely.
And
I've met cool people that I'm just like, you know, hanging out with them, or like past relationships that I've tried to foster, and they just kind of wither away because I'm just like, I can't get to your heart. You're not letting me get to your heart.
Exactly. And I'm showing you mine, and it's not doing anything.
It's just like I can't just stay on the surface.
Right.
For me. You know, like I have to know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've really met people who don't go there.
It's hard to live like that.
And that's okay. Like some people don't like to read as deep into things, but we got to be willing to have any conversation.
Exactly.
You know, I don't care what you believe in or what you think, but just be willing to go there and talk about things.
Yeah,
and
let's
stuff.
be on the same page. Let's be real with each other, because we do have this.
No matter what you believe in.
Exactly.
Just be willing to have a conversation about it.
Exactly.
And be like, oh, I don't really know what that means. Can you tell me more? Like just... You got to be willing to just
genuinely
keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and have that space, share the space with somebody.
Yeah, it's so
I agree with you.
Much better.
I agree with you.
Yeah, especially in like the dating world and stuff.
Oh my gosh, dating is so hard.
It's like,
because it's like there's some people who just don't want to do that at all.
No, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially at our age, we're kind of young.
Yep.
You know?
We are young.
We are very young.
I don't blame them. It's just not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll learn one day.
Let's go like cry under the moon together.
Yeah, exactly.
Genuinely.
Let me tell you all the weird, funny things I've done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you how I'm human.
Yep.
You know,
let me give you
I have
my
makeup
wrists.
on. I have my hair done right now, but like,
let me show you. Let's go on a walk together. I will give you my heart, my beating heart.
Like, let me show you the funniest things I've ever done.
Oh
like
my
the
gosh.
Stupidest things I've ever done. You know.
I'm sure like everybody who watches my Instagram story probably thinks I'm crazy because I will just do it. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
once you don't care, it's like, oh dang.
Because I know once I create that space, like it helps other people.
And then you realize
feel
no
that
one actually cares.
Exactly.
It's just like, if they don't care, just skip it.
And the last thing I want is for someone else to come to me with something and show me their heart, and for them to feel like, oh no, I shared that with them. I know I can't feel safe with them anymore. You know, I never want to be that for somebody.
Never.
And if anything, I want to be like that person that people feel like they can go to.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to be so completely open and raw on my Instagram story.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
No, that's totally
anywhere.
cool.
And I want to be genuine. Like, I'm genuine. Like, we're real.
We are real.
You know? And real means sadness and happiness.
Yeah.
It means all of it.
Your Instagram stories are pretty real.
They're really
Sometimes I'm reading it and I'm like, I love you, but I have no idea what this means.
It's so deep. Everything has
so
meaning.
Deep. I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Everything has meaning in my life.
Yeah, you do put a lot of meaning onto things.
It's crazy.
You do. But and it's like, and like, if that's not who you are, you don't have to read into deep meanings. Like, that's not everybody.
It's deep and it's simple too.
But if you're just willing to just, you know, have conversations and
it's
to
part of the creation.
Talk about who you are and to not be scared to be who you are and to not just try to act cool all the time.
Right.
Like, that's the thing, you know? Like, you don't have to be this deep spiritual person. Stop trying to be cool. Stop trying to put on a front.
Because we all get sad. We all have those feelings.
Like, be funny.
It's the human
silly,
experience.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Be funny. Be silly. Like, I hate...
Can I hold your hand?
Yeah.
You know,
like, the worst thing in the world is just to see, like, a dude just, like, hanging out in the corner, like, trying to act all cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I totally understand. I just want to, like, open the book and be like,
buddy, what are you doing there? You okay?
No, I know. It's almost like you can tell with, like, the posture. Even. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then when you have met yourself on that level...
Like, tell me a joke.
You get so empathetic with others and you can, like, read them like that. You know what I mean?
Tell me a joke, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I love going to those kinds of people and just being, like, so open.
Yeah.
But leaving, like, so much space for them to just be whoever they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And not pushing it too far. Because, like, exactly. You gotta...
It's a weird, like, play with people. It's a weird dance.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you meet someone on the street, you have no idea how safe you are.
I think it's just, like, the good word for it is to just be relaxed.
Exactly.
Just relax into things.
It's really...
Whatever it may be.
You know, yep.
You know, whatever it may be. Just relax into it. I think, like, people used to be more relaxed, like, back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like, in the 90s and stuff. We didn't live in that era, but, like, since social media has come, like, everyone's trying to be the same.
Right.
Everyone's trying to act a certain way.
It's a lot easier to hide.
It's cool to just, like, be pretty and, like, quiet in a way.
Right. It's
and, like,
so much
be on
easier
your phone
to hide.
while you walk by somebody in the hallway.
Yeah.
And it's just, like... Back in the day, people didn't have phones, and they just, like, had conversations, and they didn't care the way their face looked when they laughed.
Yeah. And there's been times where, like, I haven't been on my phone and people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you on your phone and it's
people just hide.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They do.
It's crazy.
It's weird how we do that.
Yeah,
it's really weird. You know?
It is weird.
But, you know, once you've met yourself so deeply, you can meet others like that and it turns into, like,
a good conversation.
A gorgeous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Just laugh.
Have fun. Cry.
Don't be scared to be seen.
Have fun. And, cry and have fun. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. You know, vulnerability can really help us become more actualized and uncage our hearts. Because I know that, you know, we all deal with enough stress. So showing up in the world in this way.
Yeah.
And just having those connections can really, really, really take away that stress.
Yeah.
You know? Because once you realize it, oh, this other person feels it too, you think, oh, I'm not actually as crazy as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just be willing to release yourself a little bit and...
Yeah. So it's okay to go deep. It's okay to go deep.
It's okay, yeah.
It really is.
It really is. So that's our message for you guys today.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you so much, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.